Welcome back, everyone. Earlier this week, we told you about a group of veterans' families suing the Houston National Cemetery, claiming the Department of Veteran Affairs wouldn't allow them to use the words God or Jesus in services.
We were directed that we could no longer say, God bless you. What we do, Gretchen, at each funeral is we write a personal note on a card that we present to the widow, son, daughter, whomever is receiving. And this is just a condolence card. And then we talk to them for just a few minutes. I shouldn't even say a few minutes, about 30 seconds. And at that time, we usually say, God bless you and God bless your family.
Well, now one Washington lawmaker is calling for an investigation. Joining me now, Republican Congressman Ted Poe. Good to see you, Congressman.
Hi, Gretchen.
How did you find out that possibly that woman, Marilyn Kep, she's with the National Memorial Ladies and other volunteer groups who go out to these funerals, sometimes 50 to 60 a week, by the way, and console these grieving families? How did you find out that they were told they could no longer say, God bless you?
I had the local commander of the Veterans of Foreign Wars come to talk to me in my office, and he had tears in his eyes talking about how when they try to honor our war dead and our veterans at the cemetery here in Houston, the prayers are censored by the director. They can't use God or Jesus Christ, can't say God bless you. The chapel's closed. The Bible's been removed. The cross has been removed by the director. And on it goes. It's a hostility by the director of the cemetery against religion and requires her to agree to whatever takes place at the burial site. So I found out from the veterans themselves.
You, I know, were outraged. You say it's disgraceful. You say it's religious discrimination. You say it's a violation of these people's First Amendment rights, correct?
No question about it. I was really pretty mad about this whole concept. Here we have, in our second largest veteran cemetery in the United States, veterans who went all over the world to fight for our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, and now we have some local person that's been sent down here to manage a cemetery that prevents the free exercise of religion at their burial. And yes, I was mad, and a lot of people are mad about this.
So in talking to Marilyn Kep the other day, the woman with the National Memorial Ladies, she told me that she had to adjust now what she says to peace be with your family instead of God bless you. Is that the same thing to you?
That's right. No, it's not the same thing. The cemetery officials are trying to remove the concept of religion at a religious ceremony, that being the funeral of one of our veterans. And they were chastised for trying to say, God bless you, in a note that they write to the families. It's none of the director's business. Frankly, it's none of the federal government's business that these ladies write God bless you to the families. And it's prior censorship. All of this has to stop. The director needs to be removed.
Well, I know that that's what you're calling for, the termination of the director. Let me tell you what the statement is from the Veterans Affairs Press Secretary, Josh Taylor. Invoking the name of God or Jesus is not only allowed, it is common at VA national cemeteries across the country. However, VA's policy is that VA-sponsored honor guards should not make recitations at committal services unless requested to do so by the deceased's survivors. So, Congressman, if I'm reading that correctly, I guess that these volunteer women and men who are consoling the grieving families would actually have to approach them first and say, by the way, can I say God or Jesus to you?
And what a silly regulation. It's prior censorship. And, of course, these ceremonies, the VFW, have been doing these for years. Many of them go all the way back to Korea or Vietnam or World War II. The director, the VA, should have no say-so as to what takes place at a religious ceremony, whether it's Christian or Jewish or otherwise, and should not have any authority as to what the VFW can say during these ceremonies that they have been asked by the family to participate in.
Let's listen again to Marilyn Kep. She again is with the National Memorial Ladies. I interviewed her a few days ago. Here was the way she was sort of thinking through it when she's out there.
In the cards, I have opted to now say, peace be with you and peace be with your family. But when we get out to the funeral and they arrive with clergy, I think it's pretty safe to say that we can say, God bless you.
Yeah, so she was saying, look, if they come with clergy, and keep in mind, this is such a sensitive time, they're burying a loved one. I mean, I think it's sort of inappropriate in a way to think that you're going to approach somebody and have a discussion about First Amendment rights.
That's correct. And here at the local cemetery, the director has demanded that she see all of the prayers that are going to be recited at the gravesite, so that there can be, of course, prior censorship of government at this religious ceremony. So the whole process needs to change, and there has to be, rather than an anti-religious and anti-veteran atmosphere at these burials, to change the course. And I think that's something that the VA needs to look into and deal with.
So, Congressman,
immediately.
You're demanding the answers, and you're asking for the removal of this director at the Houston Cemetery. But what response have you received?
Oh, haven't received a response yet. I sent the correspondence immediately after I met with the VFW locally, and I'll give them a few more days, the director of the Veterans Administration, to respond, because we had in detail, sort of like the Declaration of Independence, we listed all of the accusations against the director and hope that Washington, D.C. will respond in writing as to what they're going to do about it.
Well, please keep us abreast here at Fox News. Congressman Ted Poe, Republican from Texas, appreciate your time. Have a great holiday weekend.
Thank you.